It's that time again. Time for a will I buy it? And I gotta tell you guys, the prospects for the fall collections aren't great. All right, let's just go ahead and dive in. If you haven't watched a Will I Buy It before, basically I go through a bunch of influencers, Instagrammers, whatever you'd like to call them, and I'll have their names pop up over here. And I go through their accounts on Instagram, and these folks post upcoming releases, new releases, and some of these things I will have over on Patreon. Hopefully I can get them up this weekend. I'm not sure when this is going up. Things have been really crazy busy. There's difficulty with posting things on an open platform like Instagram. Many Instagrammers have had their channels taken down. It's happened on YouTube. So I keep things on Patreon, frankly, until they've been literally released. Like, so they're for sale in some country. Then I feel comfortable. If they're not, I usually keep it over on Patreon. So some of the things I'm going to go through today, we've talked about before, but I want to revisit them because we're now at the end of June. So this will be, frankly, the end of the summer collections. I know it's literally like the first week of summer, but it's the end of summer collections. And we'll start seeing fall. Usually fall shows up August, but I think we're going to start seeing it in July. So I'm going to start doing some wrap-up videos, like first half of the year. I did one with blushes, powder blushes, like the best blushes of the first half of the year. I'll do the same thing with other products. So today we're going to revisit some things that I've already talked about because I kind of want to get into like all the things that are coming, at least as far as we know for fall. And you'll also notice that my foundation on my face is too deep for my skin color, but I was trying out a new foundation and I don't have time to take it off and put on all new makeup. So yeah, that's how it's gonna look. Okay, so let's talk about Chanel. So Chanel's coming out with a lot of things. And the first thing we're gonna see is this colorful collection. This is supposed to launch June 30th. It should be at some standalone Chanel boutiques. And my understanding is that it will also be online. Online, at least this is what I'm being told right now, things change, we'll have all 9 shades. Boutiques will get different colors. Some are more, quote, limited edition than others. And I don't know if all 9 of these will be online. And I don't know which boutiques are getting what. My Boston boutique is not getting these. At least, again, that's what I understand right now. I am going to pick up some of this collection. There are nail files, there are brush holders that I understand are real leather. There's 3 brushes in there. And then there's the mirror compacts. Looking at the shades, and I have a picture up right now of just the compacts themselves. I personally like the sage green, which is that light green at the bottom, the rouge noir, which is that like deep burgundy shade, the blue, the deep blue, and I like the lilac. The rest of the shades don't really appeal to me. I think ballerina, the light pink, will be very popular. I think the pink shades will be very popular. And like their coral pink. They're not really, my kind of shades. So we'll see. We'll see, what's available online and what goes quickly. But like I said, I think the boutiques are going to get some of the shades and not all of the shades. My understanding at this point is that the deep blue, the lilac, and the pink, and one of the reddish pinky shades, and I don't remember which one, will not be in boutiques, and that will be, I think, only available online. But again, I'm still not really sure. So I know it's mixed messaging, but if I had more details, I'd give them to you. Maybe by the time this video goes up, I'll have more details and I can put them below. But I'm definitely picking up these products. They will be very limited edition. I think they will go quickly. I'm not telling you that you have to pick them up. I'm just making everyone aware. Then Chanel Fall. So we have the highlighters, which I've talked about before. There are different designs. There's a camellia, there's the chains, there's the CCs, there's the swirling stars, and there's the lion. The lion and the camellia and the chains, I've seen those patterns before. The CCs, the pearl CCs and the stars, I think are the new patterns. There are 3 shades. There's like a peachy shade, a white shade, and a golden shade. I will pick up a white shade and a peachy shade in the CCs and maybe the stars because they're new. So those will come for fall. There's a lot more coming from Chanel for fall and holiday, and that I can't even put up here. So that will be over on Patreon. Hopefully it'll be up by the time this video goes up, and I'll have it up over there. I have some screenshots of things that I can show you, but I can't post the pictures here. But if I look at my photos, which are on my phone, please hold. There are Rouge Allures, there's a Duo Lumiere highlighter, new nail polishes, new lacks, a new exclusive creation eyeshadow palette. There'll be holiday sets. There are Byzance multi-effect quad eyeshadows. Again, it'll all be over on, it's all over on Patreon. New types of blushes, new Cocoa Blooms, new ombre libres for the eyes, and other nail polishes. So again, I'll have that all up over on Patreon, hopefully by the time this video goes up. Okay, so that's Chanel. I'm sure I've forgotten something, but that's most of Chanel. If there's more, I'll put it up. But those are the big things that I wanted to talk about. Dior reformulated everything. Everybody knows. I picked up a lot of the stuff. I'm still picking up more of the blushes as they're being released. Dior has something called Haute Couture. It's got that beautiful Dior motif in that gray and white. At the moment, it is only available in France at the 30 Avenue Montaigne flagship store. I don't know if it's going to be anywhere else. I'm trying to find out. I'll put up some pictures. I've had them over on Patreon and the shades that they're coming in. I'm hoping they're coming to other stores. I don't have an answer for you yet on that. You know, as soon as I know, I'll let you all know. Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it says at the moment it's only available at France, but it doesn't say, it said, I think it says something like for now. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Dior Fall, we've already seen pictures for. It looks like it's like embossed with like a sweater motif. The shades are neutrals. Everything is going to be neutral. I said this in a post in a video, I don't know how many weeks ago, months ago, about how when the economy is challenging and, you know, companies are worried about the bottom line, they go with what's safe. Neutrals are safe. And in that, you know, vein, I have the Guerlain Fall over on Patreon. And I'm actually wearing one of the Guerlain lipsticks right now. And I have to tell you, I actually love the collection. I'm calling it the Wild Nudes collection. That's one of the quads. I love the collection. It's a great, you know, collection of neutrals, but they are neutrals and you probably have all the shades. I really like them and I'm glad I picked them up, but they're not in any way, you know, anything new. And Tom Ford has the Private Rose collection. Again, looks very neutral. Looks like it's white packaging. It's limited edition. I don't know what to tell you. Insolent Rose, you know, already exists, and Rose Teas. They just, you know, those are very pinky, brown, neutral kind of shades, and I think a lot of companies are just gonna stay with that. Back to Dior for a second. Dior is reformulating their nail lacquers, which is not a huge shock because they reformulated everything else. So I will pick up new Dior nail polishes when they're out just to see what they're like. You know, see if they're any different than the old ones. Givenchy for fall. It does look a little bit different. It's like a lilac, purples. There's, you know, 3 shades, lavender, purple grays, rosewood glint. So obviously You know, this is the Prisme Libre Violet Tool is the powder. It looks pink in this picture, but maybe it's more purple. But at least it's not neutral. So, you know, I'm interested in those, and I will probably, well, I will pick them up to show to all of you. Okay, Yves Saint Laurent, the Couture mini clutches, we've seen pictures of these for quite some time now. They've been around, frankly, for months, and everybody's been talking about them. I think, you know, they are very pretty. There's a lot of different color stories. I'm pretty sure I just saw Sophia pick up like the blue one from France. They're not available in the United States yet. I have not picked them up early. I've chosen not to pick them up early because I've been picking up other things early, like the roll-on, and I've also been buying a lot of Dior because it's the perfumes, because they're being discontinued, which I'll have a video for that soon. But that's very expensive. So I chose not to pick up the Yves Saint Laurents, but when they do come to the United States, I will buy a couple of shades. I've heard really good things. I've heard the formula is excellent. I've heard that the color stories are beautiful. So, you know, I'm really hoping that that is the case. And I will certainly have them for review here. But again, there's a lot of people who have, you know, a bunch of reviews on them. And I've, like I said, I haven't watched the reviews because I try not to do that before I try a product. But I've heard very good things. House Labs has a new lavender powder blush that looks beautiful. All the House Labs are too deep for me, too much pigment for me, but they're beautiful, and the formula is excellent. Tom Ford has this heart-shaped powder blush in Love Scene. I'm pretty sure that's coming out for next Valentine's Day, but maybe it'll be released early. Who knows? Nowadays, you just don't know. I mean, Kaylee has two different perfumes. The Wedding, they look like one is Silk Santal and the other is Wedding Velvet Santal. So I'm going to assume they're sandalwood. That's what it says, sandalwood fragrances. They'll be available on June 29th. I like KLE. I think the fragrances are really good. Some are some of my favorites. And others are just okay in my opinion. But I do think they're worth trying, absolutely. And, you know, I think that I will wait to hear some reviews on some perfume channels. But if the notes live up to their promise, I will probably pick up both of those fragrances, even if it's just in the small sizes, to try them. Clé de Peau has, again, reformulated and changed their eyeshadows. They're now going to be like these 4 pans. I'll put up some pictures. So it's going to look, they've had 4 before, but it's going to be in a different layout. So my understanding is that it will no longer fit the old Clé de Peau cases. Clé de Peau has always had beautiful formulas and their eyeshadows have been excellent. So hopefully these are also excellent. You know, I hope they're not worse. I have real hope that they'll be excellent because Clé de Peau usually does really good formulas, and so I'm really looking forward to trying those. But similar to the Yves Saint Laurent, there's a lot of neutrals, tons of neutrals. There's a couple that, you know, have some more colorful shades in them. But I get it. Like, I mean, like what I'm wearing today, which is the Amber Pearl from Dior. Most of the time, many of us are wearing neutrals. So it makes sense that companies are, you know, putting out product that appeals to a mass market. I get that. So I don't have any news on anything new from Gucci or Dolce or Valentino or Natasha. Just looking through. Sicily. Talked about Dior, talked about Chanel, talked about Tom Ford. Tom Ford also has some colorful things coming, actually. It's either going to be late July or August. That also is over on Patreon. But there is some colorful. And the Chanel, you know, sets that are coming in on June 30th, those are very colorful and very not Chanel, which is kind of interesting. Westman Atelier came out with the, you know, all over highlighters. I have not picked them up yet. I am interested in them. If you guys are really interested in me picking one up, let me know, because that's something that I would do. I know, Tom Ford's got things slated for holiday, and so does everybody else, but I haven't seen pictures of that. So overall, I have to tell you, like, I've been going back and looking at some like old collections of makeup. So things from Clé de Peau and Chantecaille, old Dior, even old Chanel. And I feel like in some ways, the new collections that are coming out are actually less impressive than they used to be. And it could be because right now, of course, things have gotten very expensive. Products are expensive. Ingredients are expensive. Supply chain. And so maybe that's it. Or maybe there's just a lack of interest in doing new things because, it's difficult to get mass appeal and companies are concerned about bottom lines, which I totally understand. Suku seems to still continue to, and I mentioned this in a couple of videos, to do different kinds of things, unique color stories. Their fall collection, put up a picture really quick. I'm interested in picking up, obviously. As I've said, I'm very impressed with Suku. But overall, there is, I think, going to be a tendency in the next couple months, because you got to remember these collections were basically created last year. I mean, all this stuff happens way ahead of time. It's not like they're looking at 2024 now, and maybe even 2025, because it takes a lot of time and effort to put in all the ingredients and put the designs together and get the shipments in place. So all those things happen, last year. And so I think we're going to see, unfortunately, a lack of creativity and uniqueness for the most part. I'm hoping that we come out of that. But I think the continuum of neutrals, I think that's where we are. And I think there'll be pops of color, pops of things that are really different. But I don't see like really unique packaging or really over the top color stories or really, different product or like something that's, just really unique and different that maybe people won't like, frankly, that will stand out. I'm not seeing a lot of that. So there's been pieces, but overall, I don't think that's on our horizon for fall and winter holiday. So, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So, that being said, I will obviously be picking up things for fall. Neutrals are always great, but I have a pretty extensive collection, so I won't pick up everything. So let me know what you're interested most in, and I'll make sure that I, prioritize those things. So let me know what you're interested in. Let me know what you really have your eye on, what you want to pick up, what, sparks your interest. And like I said, I get that neutrals are great for everyday use, and I understand they have a lot of appeal, but it just, after a while, you just want to see something a little bit different, a little bit unique. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels that way, but I'm not as excited about this fall as I've been about other fall collections. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.